I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Trustee Campion.
Present.
Trustee Hopkins.
Yes.
Trustee Kulat.
Present.
Trustee Faber is excused. Trustee Komek.
Here.
And Trustee Gant.
Here.
All right, good. Oh, okay, Ryan. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, open meeting. We posted these on Friday.
Yep, at 4:11.
And the approval of agenda is good. Guys, okay. Citizens comments. And Ryan, you're first up.
So about a year ago, I purchased a property on Glenwood, Silver Lake. And it's adjacent to the launch. And several times last year, both parking prevented me from accessing my property. So I drive all the way out there to cut the grass or mow the lawn. I can't get on my property. My only recourse is to call the police.
Mhm.
They give them a $15 speeding ticket, but the people are on the lake all day and I can't get on my property. So this year I cut some stumps. They're about 18 inches high, about 18 inches in diameter. And I spaced them around the perimeter of the property and I put up tollway zones. I put up 3 tollway zone signs. And I got a letter from the property maintenance officer, the village property maintenance officer,
Mhm.
that I have illegal signs on my property and that I got to remove them. And that my only recourse is to call the police. Well, I know I searched the internet for issues with this property and I found an article dating back 2018, Notion News. There's been an outstanding problem with this property for at least that long. And this article talks to the fact that the town was running under 2 different sets of ordinances. And that when Salem completely annexed, I guess you annexed Silver Lake.
Mhm. Well, they annexed, but yeah.
Whatever. But apparently the fire department got shut down over there and they turned that into a boat launch. And there's a serious parking issue over there. I've been out on the lake swimming and I've heard one boat talk to another, where'd you park? Well, in front of the no parking sign. It's a $15 ticket. That's a parking fee, But I feel like the town should help me in this issue of being able to access my property. I would like to see it a tollway zone. And until there's a resolution, I'd like to get a variance on my sign and my logs.
What does your sign say? Do you have pictures?
I don't have pictures. It's a small sign, no parking tollway zone.
On your property?
On my property, on my side of the ditch. Now, when you look at the plot map of the properties, there's some pretty sizable road setbacks there. The apartment building across the street, their parking lot goes into the road right of way. And they're parking cars in the road right of way. The gas station adjacent from me, gas station and mechanic shop, they paved over the entire corner and they use it, and I put up logs to keep people from parking. And I'm told that someone registered a complaint. Well, who do you think would register a complaint? Somebody who can't park. Right?
You're allowed, I don't know. You're allowed to put logs up in front of your front.
I think, Ryan, wasn't a problem? You put the logs in the right of way, right?
They're in the road right away, but they're not permanent and they're small. They're 40 pounds. You can kick it over with your foot. And nobody has messed with any of it. Nobody's touched any of it. They've left it alone and I've been able to access my property. And that's why I say I'm asking for a variance here until a more permanent resolution is found. There's no parking in the immediate area for anybody who launches a boat. They have to park somewhere in town. And then when they park me out and I want to launch my boat, I got to go find a parking spot they should have found.
It's become a joke over there.
And now Manor Drive, we have no parking on Manor Drive.
But they're parking there anyhow.
They're parking there anyway. They're parking in front of Harms with no parking with trailers. They're parking there all the time. Okay. And you're around the corner from the gas station, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
kitty corner.
On Glenwood.
There's a sign coming into the subdivision that says no parking anywhere in the subdivision. And there's signs on both corners of my property, and they still park there anyhow. And there's a deep ditch around my property. And there's only one small area that I can use for a drive when I go there. And if a boat and trailer or a truck and trailer is parked there,
Yeah,
then I can't use it. And I used as few logs as I could so that a truck and trailer couldn't park in between the logs. I spaced them out 25 feet. You know, I got maybe, I don't know, put a number on it, a dozen of these logs. And they're like, you know, they're like this big around and about this high. And like I say, if somebody really wants to, they can kick them over and park, but nobody has touched anything.
Last year, they had one gentleman who was disconnecting his trailer from the vehicle, leaving just the trailer. This way he couldn't be ticketed.
Is he doing it this year?
No.
Okay.
is he allowed that sign? Do you know?
I mean, that would.
Well, the ordinance, the property officer submitted is 490-12.3B8, Article 12 signs. And it's number 8, and it says that you can't put any signs in the road right away. Well, the signs, as far as I know, maybe I'm off a little bit. I didn't put it far enough into my property, but the sign is not in the road right away. And that's the only thing he's citing me for. And I had till today to resolve this issue. And then he's telling me that I'm gonna have to pay for the town to remove this stuff.
Remove the sign and the,
Logs. And I'm asking
Right.
for a variance until the town makes some kind of resolution here.
well, we definitely have to look at it. I mean, I don't have a solution right now, but
Have you called any towing service to tow away those vehicles?
No, and I don't plan on having anybody towed away.
Then may I ask you, why did you put the signs up to say that it's towaway zone if you're not going to enforce it? It's just like the police department not enforcing no parking. So, I mean, is it a scare tactic they're trying to use there or?
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna go so far as to knock the logs over and park when there's a towaway sign, when the police come, then I'm gonna ask them to tow it away because I can't access my property. People had fair warning.
Right, and then that's why I'm asking you, have you called anyone to tow? them?
No, I wouldn't personally call to tow. I would call the police and I would go through the channels and they would most likely say that I can't.
Right, because it's not posted by the village.
Right. And
So-
but until this village acts on it,
you received a citation also?
Hmm?
You received a
I'm
citation?
about to, yeah.
Mike,
Unfortunately, our administrator's tied up on a fire call right now, a wreck or something. Can we put this on hold till either he gets here tonight or tomorrow, let him look at it right away and get your information, have him call you and we'll try and expedite things on this and do what we can as quick as we can. Because I don't think you should get a citation based on everything you're telling me. And I will tell you, I've sat on this board and I remember talking that very same piece of property in days gone by.
Yeah.
Same situation. And it's, unfortunately, it's a problem up there in several different locations, but could we put this all in advance until we get Mike involved either tonight or tomorrow morning?
But on the other hand, I mean, if there's a sign on the street saying no parking, entire subdivision, that means no parking.
Well, that's up to the sheriff. That's, but like he says, it's a $15 ticket. They'll park there in the morning, get a $15 ticket, come back later, pay the $15. It's
He's
cheaper.
enforcing something like this.
And then I can't get access to my property
Right.
after driving all the way out there.
Ryan, have you had like your property survey lately? Do you know where your property line starts and
I
where?
didn't have it surveyed when I bought it. I only have the town plat map, but I can more or less tell from where the telephone poles are and electrical boxes are in this picture that where my actual lot lines are.
That's a pretty close I looked at that property several years ago. It's a pretty close representation. Even so, you've got a lot of right of way around your corner. I'm very familiar with your corner.
Yeah.
Would it be okay if we kind of put things on hold till?
Yeah, as long as the property manager or the property maintenance officer is incumbent.
No, you won't get any citations.
I mean, he's got notarized letters and he sent me a couple of them. You know.
Shannon emails me his information. I'll work with Dave and John tomorrow.
Okay.
You want to give your information to Shannon or right here, lady in blue, and get your phone number there, Ryan?
Okay, thanks.
No, Ryan. Yeah, that sucks. Can't
We
park
can do
on
it with
property.
parking fees. I mean, I don't know, ticket fees, which maybe we should. We talked about that.
I know, and Bill is firsthand. He's there all the time. He sees it. It's ridiculous. I've heard that too, because they pay only the $15 ticket.
Right.
And
There he is.
Paddock Lake charges, I think, $10 to park in there. So I mean, it's not much different. Take a chance, I guess. Hi, Mike.
Yours ringing, Mike?
Just in time.
Oh.
I'm gonna move forward. If we can move, if Brad's gonna look at that tomorrow and then he'll make Mike abreast of everything going on and that, and then we'll give you a call.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thanks, Ryan.
He's coming in.
Wes, do you have something to
Yeah,
say?
real quick, I got smoke
Sure.
going right now, so. Nice big rolls going. I was just curious about
Well,
the
hi.
speed hump versus the speed bump, if there's any,
There's a difference?
if you guys come up with any ideas. I said I'd pay for the hump.
I'm sorry, you gotta
All right, got issues with speeders coming through the neighborhood. And I like to see a speed hump, rubberized hump that can be removed prior to winter. So it's only up during the summertime.
I don't
I'll
know.
buy the damn thing, okay? And I just want, town hall or town to take care of it. It's spiking it.
I have to look into it. That's a potential liability issue, having those in there.
Well,
Ultimately, they need to call the sheriff's department to get some patrol in there for speed.
well, I've done that too. They've also stuck, they stuck the sign up there for, speed limit, everybody checks out their speed anyways. Milwaukee's using it for speed control. Chicago uses it for speed control. They're using a little bit higher humps than I would get. Just want somebody to slow it down. That's all.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
I have no idea what you're talking about. You tell me-
Hickory Hollow, right off JF,
Mm,
242nd Avenue, coming in. It's a one entrance coming in, going out.
Mhm.
And the people coming in, and whether residents, some do, whether mostly it's,
And where would you like to have this speed bump?
I could have that like splitting my house. There's a big crack,
I don't know where your house is at, sir.
1100 going away. It's the second house left hand side going in. Can't visit with the flag, stamped driveway. It's about right where it should be put.
So is it a circle drive that goes through there?
No, it's a straight shot
Straight
going all the
shot
way
in.
in, and there's circles, there's 4 circles.
Okay. Did we recently pave that road?
No. Can't wait for that too.
Why don't we, can we look into that too?
We can look into it, obviously.
I know,
They've
no,
been
last
every-
time, Mike,
They've been every subdivision, and again, they don't really deter speed. If he has one in front of his house, it would slow him down.
Yep.
But unless you have them every so many feet, then people are gonna get mad because they gotta slow down for a speed bump, and then it actually increases speed, just like stop signs.
Mhm.
Unless you put them every, whatever the mark is, 50 feet, 100, I don't know what the exact marks are,
Sure.
but it becomes a, yeah,
I guess that's one way of looking at it too. I mean, you can look at it either way.
right.
Right.
I live in the neighborhood.
Yep.
And I'm tired. I've got my grandkids out there, got neighbors with a bunch of little kids. And I've got to actually stand out in front of the car and tell them to slow it down as they speed on by. Now, I'm not the cop. I'm not gonna throw anything at them. I'm just gonna yell at them and take video and pictures of them. And if something should happen, at least I've got that on record.
Does that slow them down?
But
You're standing out there, you're present.
some do, some don't. Something has to be done. And this whole thing prior to the pandemic, society's changed its mentality, okay? And you can see it at the stop signs. You see it at the red lights. You see it driving down the road. I gave up riding a motorcycle because of this crap. People just don't give a rat's ass about other people anymore.
Yep, you're right.
Go down 41, you gotta go 100 miles an hour. That's my thought. I get a speed hump, not a bump, just a hump.
Well,
You're saying you're gonna supply these?
Buy the one.
I think that would, it's too much of a liability if something goes down. But let's look into it and then, okay?
Appreciate it.
Thanks,
All right,
Wes.
guys. Thank you.
I was.
Marissa? Hi.
So I'm here, you guys are gonna be talking about a property, land, 247, 82second Street. I just wanted to let you know I'm here if you have any questions.
Okay,
Over the estate after my daughter passed.
okay. All right, thank you. Anyone else that didn't make the list? Okay. With that, we're going to move on to presentations, petitions, communications, other agency reports. Number one, presentation of the 2021 Village of Salem Lakes Audit Report presented by Amber. Yeah. Oh, there, I hear her.
I am here if you can hear me.
Oh, I can see you and hear you now. Yes.
Excellent. I'm going to kind of quickly go through the audit report. If there are any questions, feel free to interrupt, ask questions. Otherwise, as always, Chris or Kathy have my contact information. You can feel free to reach out.
All right, thank you.
On page 1 of the audit report, this is our independent auditors report, slightly different format from the prior year. It talks about that we have audited the accompanying financial statements of the governmental activities, business type activities, each major fund, and the aggregate remaining fund information of the Village of Salem Lakes as of and for the year ended December 31st, 2021. Directly below that paragraph is our opinion. So in our opinion, the financial statements referred to above present fairly in all material respects the respective financial position of the village as of December 31st, 2021. That's a clean, unmodified opinion, the best opinion we could provide from an audit standpoint. Goes through, talks about the basis for our opinions. We do a test basis, risk-based approach. We do not look at every transaction of the village, but we do have various conversations and we review internal controls and so forth and make our determinations that way. Responsibilities of management. Management is responsible for the preparation and fair presentation of the financial statements. Our responsibilities as auditors fills almost the entire page 2, but our primary responsibility is to follow standards and to issue an audit opinion on the financial statements. Then I'm going to go to page 6 if you're following along. This is the government-wide page 6 and goes through page 8 is our government-wide financial statements. Your governmental activities had a total net position of about 31.5 million. Approximately 24.2 of that is all of your net investment in capital assets, your infrastructure, your equipment, machinery, those types of items. The Wisconsin retirement system was in a net asset position again, so you'll see that restricted. And then you see all your other restrictions for parkland, transportation, some future capital, and so forth. The business type activities had a total net position of about 41.8 million. About 36 million of that is capital in nature. On page 9, this starts your fund financials. So this is how the village adopts your budget on a yearly basis. I'm going to kind of focus in on the general fund, but I just want to mention your debt service fund has a fund balance of about 65,000. Your capital improvements about 3.2 million in fund balance as of December 31st, 2021. Tax incremental district number 1 has approximately 398,000. So if I go back to the general fund, you have about just shy of 2.6 million in fund balance. We like to look at what the unassigned portion of that is. That's kind of what do you have set aside for unknowns and future maybe one-time projects that you're not going to borrow for and so forth. So you have, the village has approximately 2.5 million set aside in the unassigned fund balance. Your policy is to have 17% of operating expenses, and that comes to about 1.1 million. So you're very healthy in the fund balance category. Obviously, that can change. Obviously, COVID taught us a few things. We don't know what we don't know. And that'll also depend on what your capital plans and so forth are, and what you kind of are envisioning from a short-term and a long-term perspective. So a very healthy fund balance, but keep in mind that that can change quickly. On page 13 is a budget to actual for the general fund from a summary level perspective. You had a good budget year. You originally budgeted a deficit, but came in 217,000 of a surplus. So that's where you come up with the just shy of 2.6 million. Any questions on the governmental? Otherwise, I'm going to jump into the sewer utility.
Okay,
Then I'm going to jump into the sewer utility. As I mentioned, your sewer utility has net position of about 41.8 million, about 36 of that being capital investments in your infrastructure and machinery and equipment. We like to look, because of the non-cash type items within the sewer utility, we really like to look at the cash flows. So on page 16, we like to look at, are you generating enough cash from your operations in order to cover your capital assets and your debt service payments? So your your cash flow from operating activities was about 3.4 million. And your total change in cash and cash equivalents was about 1 million. So you covered your portion of debt and capital during 2021. Your total cash at the end of the year for the sewer was just over 4 million. We like to use that as a benchmark of being able to continue to monitor year over year if your rates are adequate. You can see in 2020 there was a deficit change in cash and cash equivalents of about 1.3. Some of that's timing and capital and debt proceeds. So as you continue to go, and as you wrap up your project in the treatment plant, you just want to make sure that your rates are set to a point that you're going to be able to cover those costs and continue the maintenance costs on that plant infrastructure. Any questions on the numbers? Otherwise, just a few more additional items that I'm required to talk about.
no questions.
Then I'm going to go all the way to the back on page 56. So as part of the audit, we also review the internal controls of the village. So we'll review the controls with each area.
Oh,
Somebody muted?
Mhm.
Did you get muted somehow?
Whoop.
yeah,
Am I good now?
Yep.
Okay. So the internal control, I'm not sure what you heard or didn't, but we do not give an opinion on the internal controls, but we do review each area. Your payroll, accounts receivable, just your accounts payable, and so forth. We would be required to disclose any non-compliance or any findings that we have. And you can see that we do not have we do not have any non-compliance, and there were no findings to note there. We do provide a management letter or verbal recommendations, and those are something that the village is already working to work out, and those are just some segregation of duties, basic concepts there. So nothing major there. The additional item, I'm not sure if Chris was able, I believe it might have been emailed out to you. I'm not sure if it was printed, but there's a governance communication that we're required to provide. And within that, we talk about the accounting policies, that there were no new accounting policies adopted, and the application of existing policies were not changed during 2021. Within the financial statements, there are a few accounting estimates. There's the depreciable life of your capital assets, the net pension asset and liability, and the corresponding deferred inflows and outflows. and the estimate for the uncollectible accounts for your ambulance receivables. There were no difficulties encountered in performing the audit, no disagreements with management. You will see in there an uncorrected misstatement. It's really a classification timing issue between 2020 and 2021. The ending asset number and the ending fund balance net position is correct. It was just that we've shown it through expenses instead of through beginning equity. Nothing major there or of any concern. And that is entirely correct there. The wording gets a little goofy though. No significant issues discussed, and the remaining portion of that document is the management representation letter for management taking responsibility for the financial statements. That was a lot of stuff in a short amount of time, but any questions?
Any questions?
I'd like to make a comment that I'm glad to see that we've got a good fund balance because we have some upcoming projects that we're going to be doing in the next 10 years. So we're going to start off in a good area. And some concerns were earlier about being short on our revenue. I don't think it's going to occur. So I think we're going to be in pretty good shape.
All right. Any others, comments? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in on the meeting too.
Thanks.
Excellent.
Yeah. Oh, we have one more. Go ahead.
No question. I just want to say thanks again to Chris and the whole staff. You guys, I mean, year after year, we get these clean reports. It's so refreshing from some days gone by, but congratulations, Chris, and doing a great job. We appreciate it. Well, all of you.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, and thank you. And I'll echo that comment. Great to work with and very timely, and it goes very smooth. So thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Very
Thank
nice.
you. Have a great night.
You too. And
Jackie, Andrea, I just want to say that I've been working with the village for a long time. You have a big business, you don't think the government, but you have a lot of money coming in, going out, a lot of different, a government has got so many different activities to deal with. And to get a report like this without any findings is really a great feather in the board cap, because you care about internal control, you care about your staff, food administration. I think, it's a big legal document, but I think that you should all be proud of that. And the board is a big part of this whole, it comes from the top down. So I want to thank the board here and the staff that I work with. And I think this is a big feather in your cap. In the world of government and how everybody thinks about government, this is a good report.
oh,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you also. All right. We got a lot of thank yous going on, but that's a good thing.
Thank all you.
It's a great thing in today's world. Okay, thank you so much. Thanks,
Thank you.
Andrea. Thank you, Andrea.
Bye, Amber. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay. So we're just going to move into planning and zoning. Discussion and possible action on the following items. Number one, ordinance 2022.07-54. An ordinance amending the zoning map for the village of Salem Lakes on tax parcel 70.4-120-262-0220. And this was voted unanimously 7-0.
Motion approved.
Motion to approve was made by Kulat
Seconded.
and seconded by Campion. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number two, a certified survey map. This is for 1.6 acre parcel, and this was voted unanimously also 7-0 by P and Z.
Motion approved.
Was made Kulat and Campion again. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Public Works, discussion and possible action on the following items. Number one, payment request number 3 by Payne and Dolan Incorporated in the amount of $108,181.89 for the 2022 street rehabilitation program.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Campion and Kulat. Any questions on this one? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Number 2, payment request number 1 by RLP Diversified Incorporated in the amount of $56,219.98 for the 317 Lake Street demolition project.
Motion approved.
Second.
Kulat and Campion. Any questions on this?
Did this come in under budget or estimated?
Yeah, it was an estimate, it was a bid. So we won't go over it. We had some overages in the Caricon portion, with the tanks that were discovered. But as far as I know, it'll be minimal, just some of the estimating possibly.
Yeah, we're still holding 24,000. Pardon me? We're still holding 24,000. Okay. It's just removing a little bit down.
Anything that we do, we always have a contingency fund for that, so it'll definitely be within what we ask.
All right, with that, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Number 3, resolution 2022.07/60, a resolution authorizing the sale of village property, a 12-foot wide strip of land between lot 29 and 30 in the first northern addition to Salem.
Motion approved.
Kulat made the motion to approve,
Second.
and Campion is the second. Any questions on this one? None at all? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Treasurer's Office, discussion and possible approval of a contract with Invoice Cloud Software for the Village of Salem Lakes online payment service.
Motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Campion and Kulat. We got a CC thing going on here today. Any questions? I know Chris was available for that. Thank you for all that. Because it was a little confusing for me, so I appreciate it.
Reiterate that Chris and I know Shannon, everybody spent a lot of time. Eileen put a lot of effort in it to research and to come up with a better alternative than what we're currently doing.
Yeah, thank you.
Looks like a pretty seamless integrated
It's a
program.
better
It looks
one.
like it's going to be good for the citizens.
It's gonna be much easier for our residents.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay,
Thank
with
you
that,
again. Thank you again.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Fire and Rescue, discussion and possible approval of Tread Rock Tire Services in the amount of $5,498.61 for the repairs on vehicle 5811.
Motion approved.
Second.
Kulat and Campion. Questions on this one? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And my screen just went blank for some reason. Okay. Number 2, discussion and possible approval of Siren Services invoice 1067 in the amount of $6,921.56 for repairs on vehicle 5814.
Motion approved.
Kulat
I'll second it.
and Kamek, they let you lots of time there. Any questions?
Yeah, Diane?
Yeah.
I just, for those in attendance, the chief sent us a pretty detailed letter about the repairs on these 2 vehicles and the need for them. They're over what we customarily spend, but they're kind of like almost emergency repairs. So we all have explanations of them. So we're not just randomly okaying stuff.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Clerk's Office, discussion and possible action on this. Approval of operators licenses. Which one do we, all of them? All of them cleared, right?
Yeah. My recommendation was approved.
Okay, so it's approval of operator licenses as mentioned.
Motion approved.
Second.
Which, was that Ronnie?
Yeah.
Mr. Gant. All right, Kulat and Gant. To approve the licenses pending clear background checks and payment of necessary fees. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Appeal for Tammy Wilton regarding the denial of her operation license. Are you here? You are Tammy. So what you got, Tammy?
I mean, I don't know where to start. Obviously, I have a very.
Tim, come on up. I'm sorry, I don't have my hearing aids. Come on up and don't be, you're never so
I mean, I read
quiet.
your letter. I read your letter. I appreciate that.
You've never been so quiet. Come on, talk.
Oh, well, I am. I've been making a lot of changes in my life, and one of them is not making stupid choices, bad mistakes. And I've been doing actually pretty good, very good, actually, for the last 4 years. I've been through anger management. I've gone through treatment. Right now, I am actually taking care of my sister. She's living with me, and I'm trying to get her.
Diane?
Diane's pretty bad. Yeah, Diane's pretty bad. And I'm trying to get her to quit. And it's very difficult to do that. Because you got to be ready. And I'll admit, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. And I was just, I didn't care. I was on a self-destructive path.
And this, you haven't had anything since 2018.
No,
What do you know?
50, I'll be 51 in a couple of months. Yeah, it took me a while. It took me a while to get there, but I got there.
Yeah, you made it.
Yeah, I mean, it's, my family sees it, it's actually a good feeling. It's like, oh my God, who knew? Treatment and AA, who knew it worked? Well, they all knew. I just wasn't listening. I didn't want to listen. I was, like I said, I was on a very destructive path, very long time, held on to a lot of anger that I didn't need to hang on to. And all I know is in 2018, when I was arrested and the judge gave me a choice of either prison or treatment, and I would be out of prison before, sooner than I would treatment, I still chose treatment because I'm like, I'm done. I got to get rid of this. And I finally listened. I finally let it all go. And it's like, wow, who knew? Yeah, they did.
Well, good.
And it just,
Timmy said your last time was 18,
yeah, 2018.
Yeah.
14 on your.
Oh, no, it was April 8th, 2018. I was sentenced July 6th. And it was, I'll be honest.
Are you done with your sentence?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's the first time, I will be perfectly honest, first time ever on probation that I've ever completed, ever. And I got revoked every time. I always sat out my days in jail, and this time that did not happen. And I was on intense felony probation, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna listen this time. I'm gonna listen, and
Okay.
it worked out for me and for the better. So I'm just.
Does anybody have any questions of Tammy? Mike?
The last thing that popped on what we have is at 14, actually.
No, 18 was, if you scroll down more
That was done all the way on it.
It was in Lake County.
on page 3,
That's it, page 3. Oh,
there's 29.
oh, shit. Sorry, excuse me.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's
I think Shannon wrote that out for us, so,
I got a long list,
okay.
I mean, but I'll be honest, some things on there, on my record is
Okay.
like maybe 5.
Mike, did you,
Yeah, in the interest of full disclosure, I've known Tammy since you were what?
14,
14 maybe?
14, somewhere in there. I think 13.
Her father was a very, very close friend of mine. I therefore I'm going to abstain, but
Tom, not Tom?
No, Larry Baldock. Tom is my father-in-law.
Okay,
but,
okay.
she's not a bad kid anymore.
Not a kid anymore, either.
Do you have like a job lined up or?
Yeah, at Ralph's Ace of Hearts.
Yeah, where?
Ralph's.
Ralph's.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, and Jeanette, she knew me almost 30 years ago. So she's also seen.
Well, that's
The
walking
change.
distance for you.
Oh, yeah. It's.
You want to drive? You want to worry about you driving?
No,
No,
not at all.
great.
Just, I can walk there if I
I don't
have
want to see you driving.
to. So, yeah, we're
I actually have a question to our attorney, Rick Chelsea. Is it either giving the license or not giving the license? Is there any middle ground such as 30-day, 90-day probation, review again, or anything like that?
There isn't really any provision in the statute for any kind of probation or license. So unfortunately, you'd be in a position now where you can either issue the license or not issue it, understanding that if you issue it, you will be reviewing this again next year. But other than that, there isn't any provision in the statute.
Then, Rich, now the second question, is there a revocation process? In other words, if she does, can we revoke that license at any time?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a process again, in the statute and your ordinances for revocation of license if there are circumstances that would justify revocation.
Okay. So you're gonna be,
I will be, I have been for 3 years now.
So basically, if we were to issue okay, the license for her, and she was in violation of something, it could be revoked right away.
Well, revoked following statutory procedure, so there's a hearing required, but yes, there would be an opportunity.
Kind of like being on probation, to go through the process. I remember.
best behavior, Tammy.
All right, any other questions of Tammy? Okay, Tammy, thank you. What is the board's pleasure?
You know, I'm a big believer in second chances, so I would vote to give her a second chance and issue her.
Is that in the form of a motion?
Yep, I'd make a motion to approve your appeal, I guess you would say,
Sure.
give you a second chance.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All right, so it was made by Ted Kamek, second by Dan Campion. Any questions or anything?
The question I would have then, we talk about the revoke process, but that would be done under the sheriff issuing something.
No, the revocation process set out in the statute, and what it requires is a verified complaint, or it could be initiated by law enforcement, that there's been some violation of state statute or local ordinance dealing with alcohol beverage sales. And then the license holder is entitled to a hearing, a little, in fact, a trial, where the board would hear evidence on whether there has been a violation, and if the board finds that there's been a violation, would impose some consequence for that violation. That could be revocation of the license. It could be suspension of the license for a period of time. But that's how the statute outlines the process that you're to follow in these circumstances.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions? All right, so we do have a motion and a second. All in favor, Ron,
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Ted, Mike,
Abstain.
abstention from Mike, Phil,
Yes.
and Dan.
Yes.
And I will go along with the yes also. All right, good luck to you.
Yeah, come
Yeah,
see
come
Shannon.
tomorrow.
Come see Shannon.
Tomorrow, or give me a call tomorrow.
All right, thanks for coming in. All right, you're welcome.
Bye, Tam.
Bye.
Number 3, approval of direct sailors permits for the following: Jeremy De La Cruz, Rodolfo Cerna, Eric Cobbs, and Michael Richards.
Motion to approve.
Kulat, is there a second?
I'll second it.
And seconded by Dan Campion. Is there a question on this, guys? No? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Didn't hear a whole lot of thing there. Okay, number 4, approval of minutes from the regular board meeting on June 13th.
Motion approved.
Motion made by Kulat. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All right. Mr. Gant. Questions?
Did you wake up down there?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
One abstention from Kamek. Okay. And opposed? With none being held? All right. Passes. Number 5, approval of vouchers for $895,127.59. Is there a motion to approve?
I motion to approve.
Made by Campion,
Second.
seconded by Kulat. Questions on the vouchers? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Future items, discuss changing the August regular board meeting to August 15th due to the election. When is the election? The 6th. Oh, it's a week.
So the regular meeting should be on the 8th. The
And the-
election is the 9th.
Okay, so we can change it to August 15th. I have no issue with that.
That's fine.
And I'm fine with it.
And
Check my calendar.
would you like to do the committee of the whole then too?
That would be helpful.
Why don't we do that? Because we, you know, and if it's an overload and we have so many things, then we can just move it back to where it is. Let's do the committee of the whole on the 15th. If there isn't anything, we'll just move to a regular board meeting. Okay,
Yeah, I may be in a jury trial, but I won't know until
okay.
we get closer to it.
All right, we'll do that. Planning Commission is this Wednesday, next Wednesday, I'm sorry. Fire Commission, Library, Park Commission, Committee, okay. We're gonna change that, and then August 15th. Good? All right, a motion to move into closed session in accordance with provisions of Wisconsin State Statute 19.85 parenthesis 1 parenthesis E for purposes of deliberating and negotiating and purchasing of public properties. And a motion also, and with this is Wisconsin State Statutes 19.85 parenthesis 1 parenthesis C for relative to the village zoning administration. As administrator.
Motion to move.
Kulat made the motion to move it into closed session. Is there a second? I got Teddy right before you. Kulat and Kamek. Ron,
Yes.
Ted,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
and Dan.
Yes.
All right, we are now in closed session. Then we're not going to report anything. Nothing to report. And nothing to report for number 4, consideration possible action on relative to section 19.851C. Nothing to report. A motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Was that you, Ted?
Yeah.
Aye.
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 All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we are now adjourned.
You gotta lift home, old man? I'm coming to get you.